Okay, let's take a look at Sebring here. As we head out pit lane, notice the cones. Things are going to look a little different actually now. They've extended this pit wall, and we'll talk more about that when we take a look at turn one. See how the cones actually bend in here. This used to be the way you could sweep in and take a lot more space. Not available anymore is the extended pit lane past where the bridge is. The bridge actually passes right over where the car is now. And this wall continues straight into the corner all the way down to about here, right around in this area. So this is going to look a little different. For those that were there last year, you'll remember this. Anyway, heading out of pit lane, remember to do a good safe merge. Little brake check coming up here. And use the white line as a reference for when you want to join. Keeping an eye on the left side of your car not to run into anybody who's tracking out of turn one. Always kind of a scarier pit out, as you can never look far enough over your left shoulder, I always feel. Okay, approaching turn 3, our first brake reference is going to be the second access road here and the end of it where the 3 cones are. That's what we're looking for a brake point. So brake is on, we're starting to slow the car down through the gears. We're going to bend it in as we reach this concrete. That's our brake off point. Apex is around the corner at the end of this wall. You can't really see it from this point, so we're going to be looking toward the end of that wall. Okay, we finished our braking, dialing it in, and the apex itself is right at the end of this curb, right there. So eyes up, find that end of the curb, touch your apex, start arcing back to the right. You can develop a little spring energy in here to help with the left to right, left combination for the carousel. Stay closely to the right, but you don't need to follow the pavement as it goes back out to the right there. Along the curb is good. A little bit of brake here to help settle the nose, point it in. Again, the concrete is a good reference for getting into the carousel. There's a point around the curbing over here we'll point out in just a second that we're going to look for an apex. It's pretty far around the corner, and you really don't want to apex before it. That's that little point I was talking about. If you're in here on the curbing much before that, like in here, it's going to be a tricky track out. Okay, so exiting the corner. Another thing about the exit curb, it's got a little slope to it all the way up to about here, and then it goes flat. And a lot of people get in trouble as they ride up on that curb, and when it flattens out, you lose that little bit extra grip, and the car tends to do a little movement, and they end up hooking back across to driver's left. So not a good place. Be careful of the track out curb there. This will also develop a pretty big drop off into the dirt. Okay, heading down the curving back straightaway toward the hairpin. Hold the right side. You're going to transition over to driver's left as you approach the Mobile 1 bridge. Brake point is a little beyond, about the 4 cones here. There's a little dip in the road. The road actually makes a little downhill to uphill. Very, very subtle. But there's a little dip right there, and you can work on that for a pretty good brake point. Start with braking at the bridge, work your way in. Can get exciting. The nice part about the hairpin is you have runoff if you get it wrong. So brake is on, slowing it down through the gears, looking for the curbing on the left here. About halfway down this curbing, we're going to start arcing into the apex on the right. I should have found the apex by this point. Looking in, off brake, starting to pick up a little power, get a little curb, and squeeze to full coming out. Okay, through the hairpin, heading for the Fangio S's. Pretty much a straightaway in just about every kind of car. I'd like to drive something that was fast enough to make these feel like corners, but they don't. So make the line as straight as possible. Getting set up for turn 10. Once again, cone references 4, 3, 2, 1. Most cars can get inside the 4, closer to the 3. Start at the 4, work your way in. Brake is on, down through the gears, and again, asphalt to concrete change is a great reference for brake off. As we start arcing into the apex, apex is about the midpoint of the corner. This corner is deceptive. You can actually float in a little more entry speed than it looks like. And don't be shy about letting it track out. You'll see a lot of guys pinch the exit of this and consequently overslow the corner to set up for the next left-hander, turn 11, which I don't think is worth it. I think you're better off letting the momentum carry through 10. All right, if I've been out on the curb here before, I can still make 11 and 12, not a big deal. Off this little point here for 11, big sweeping arc, a lot of lines working here. You'll see guys holding it. You'll see guys running wide. I kind of like a middle of the road. Sometimes I'll let it run all the way out. to this little point here. It's a good reference. And then back over to the left side of the road as we set up for tower turn, turn 13. Kind of tricky because you got a little spring energy working your way through here, a little left combination to right combination. And you're going to set up for 13 while the car is still on an angle on the approach. So you got really delicate with the brake on point. So brake on right around in here. Eyes are in. Get your downshift on while the car is mostly straight. You're looking for an apex right along the curbing in this section. Again, brake off point, asphalt to concrete, great transition, great reference. Back to power. Now at the apex there's a little bit of a depression where you can get a little extra turning done. So take advantage of that. You'll notice it's slightly downhill, a little bump, and then slightly uphill on the way to the exit. So a little bit extra grip available there. Right there. And you'll feel it as the car settles. Track out curb. Again, this one can get ugly. Pretty big drop off. Got lots of runoff on the left. If you get in trouble, be sure to use it. Okay. Heading down the back straightaway now toward Bishop's Bend. Turn 14. Setting up on the curb on the right. You got an apex on the left. Be sure to be on this curb as you make the arc in. And you're looking for, your eyes at this point should be looking for that second curve of Bishop's, which is way over there. And this is one big arc all the way through here to that second apex. So really get the eyes up and look across. Try to do it with one turn of the wheel. It's pretty much flat out and everything. And then braking as you leave the concrete and get into the cones as a reference to set up for 15. Good brake on. Most cars one downshift at this point, and it's slightly uphill from this point. From the turn-in point up to the apex here of 15, it does go a little uphill, so be sure to take advantage of that. Roll in the entry speed. This is all about entry speed. 15, 15A, and 16. Of the three corners, the one you really want to give up is the left-hander, what I like to call 15A. So into 15, it's okay. A lot of guys will compromise 15 and end up over here on the right, and I think you're giving up time there. You want to be fast into 15, give up this left-hander, and be fast out of 16. So over on the left now, hugging the left side, and again, spring energy from side to side. You've got a right turn, a left turn, a right turn. The energy is going to be building in the shocks and the springs, and your job is to use that energy to help turn in for 16 and get a good run out. There will be a little bit of braking involved as you transition just onto the concrete a little bit to get the best angle possible, but never take the eyes off the prize of 16 here. That's the key point. So off brake, back to power. Real important to have good hard acceleration off this apex all the way to the exit. If you're not full throttle off that apex, you're going to be slow down the back straightaway. Little note on track out curbing, it's nice, it's wide, it is rough, tends to bang the car a little bit, and the drop off on the other side of it is ugly, so use it, wisely. Tragic place for a dropped wheel and a hook because there is no runoff on the right. You usually end up making contact with that wall, so do be careful. Long back straightaway, relax, breathe. Like Road America, this is a place where you can get pretty worn out if you hold on too tight, so be sure to rest on these straightaways. Approaching 17, one of the most difficult corners, and you got number cones to line you up. You want to start arcing into the end of the wall as you get down here between the 4 and the 3 cones with these white lines, good references. And your braking is going to take place on the way in. If I remember right, the Caymans were doing about 145 to 150 back here, pretty fast. So brake is on. Try to wait for the downshift till you're on the concrete. Just concentrate on getting, good level of braking in here. And you're going to carry the brake pretty far into this concrete. In this section, if you need to, if you feel like you're going too fast, straighten the wheel up a little and do some good hard straight line braking out toward the white line, and then continue the arc in as you head closer to the bridge. At this point, eyes should be under the bridge, should be finishing your braking, starting to pick up a little bit of power. Watch the bump right about here, and then full throttle coming out from under the bridge. Close to the cone is okay, wide of the cone is okay, just about everything works. The key is momentum. Go fast, carry lots of momentum through this section. Full throttle coming out. Onto the front straightaway. Again, relax, breathe. Don't hold the wheel too tight. Ready for turn 1. You can see where the wall fades right in this video. But as I say, now they keep the wall straight. So essentially this white line carries on all the way down. A good reference are the concrete blocks that make up the front straightaway. If you're lined up with the concrete block lines, you're going to be okay. And the wall will keep you from fading right. So I'm going to drive it straight in. Eyes are in. Good reference for turn 1. These white line reference marks. And you're looking for the cone that's usually plucked in the top of the fence there. We'll make sure it's still there when we get there. But that's a great reference for where that apex is. Down a gear to 4th, off brake, back to power. It's faster than it looks. There's a big bump right about here. Don't hold the wheel too tight over that bump. Let the car dance around a little bit, do its thing as you head out to track out. Full throttle on the exit. Getting ready for turn 3 again. Once again, the 3 cones, brake is on, eyes are in. Start looking for that apex at the end of the curb. Over there. Arc it in. Good. Eyes up now. You're looking over here for turn 5, the carousel. Little brake, off brake. Don't get into that curving too soon. Looking for that apex out there. Watch the track out. Off we go down the straightaway. Relax, breathe, another chance to rest here, check your gauges. Another point about this straightaway, don't run someone off who might be trying to pass on the left. It's usually best to wait to do your pass to driver's right into the brake zone of the hairpin, unless it's a much slower car. And watch for people running you off if you're the car passing. Approaching the bridge, clear the bridge in, brake is on, down through the gears, looking in, get your eyes in on that apex. Trail off a little brake, pick up a little power, squeeze to full coming out. Get it straight through the little curves on the way out of there. Don't bind the car through the Fangio S's. Keep it as straight as you can. Getting ready for turn 10. Number boards on the number of cones on the left. Brake is on, eyes are in, through your gears, finish your brake by the concrete seam, pick up power on the exit, full throttle coming out, let it run wide, set up for 11, let the car kind of go where it wants, wide is okay, use some spring energy to help hustle it back to the left side of the road to set up for tower turn, little brake on, eyes in, find that apex, back to power, full throttle on exit, getting ready for bishops. Okay, one big arc through bishops now. All the way through, Eyes are up, getting ready for 15. Brake is on. Remember, we want to carry momentum in here. Get off that brake, carry the speed in. It's okay to be fast in and slow through this left-hander. It's the one to give up as we set up for 16. Looking for that apex right in there. Get it there, and full throttle coming out. Big power. All right, we're going to move down to inside the car for the next lap. So you can get a good look at 17 from the inside. Brake is on, start looking for the bridge. Eyes are over here. Finish that brake, start picking up a little power. Trying to go full throttle as you come out from under. Let it run wide all the way out to the curbing. Or the grass, I should say. Down the back straightaway, or front straightaway. Little note on start finish here, it's painted. If it's raining, be really careful crossing that. Approaching turn 1, and we've got brake on, eyes in, looking for that cone in the fence up top, right there it is. Squeeze to full coming out. Setting up for turn 3 now. Second access road, brake is on, start looking in. Remember, you can't see the apex till you're in here. Off brake, pick up power. Squeeze to full for a moment, and then a little brake, off brake, squeeze back to power. Get that point, unwind the hands, full throttle. Yes, you may be noticing on the graph here I'm not using full throttle. I just wanted to make these laps slow enough so I could narrate. So don't give me a hard time about not getting full throttle on the straightaways. Okay, approaching the hairpin. 4 cones. Brake is on. Down through the gears. Eyes are in. Off brake. Pick up a little power. Squeeze to full coming out. Through the Fangio S's, nice and straight. Getting ready to set up for turn 10. You can usually get past the first set of cones. Brake is on at the second set. Down through the gears, eyes in, off brake, pick up power. Squeeze to full. Left-hand sweeper of 11. Don't bind the car. Try to let it roll as much as it wants. And set back up on the left side for 13. Little brake on. Get your downshift done. Back to some power. Squeeze to full on the exit. Getting ready for bishops. Moving right. Watch for people trying to pass you on the right here. Do a mirror check. And through bishops. One big arc. Try to move the wheel as little as possible. Good. Get it nice and straight for 15 now. Brake is on, brake is off. Carry that momentum in. Get a little curb. Let it track left. And then looking for that apex of 16 over here. Get those eyes over there. Get it in. Get that apex. Squeeze to full coming out. A little bit of curb is good. Long back straightaway. And that's Sebring. So we're going to look for pit lane this time off the back straight. Sometimes it's often nice to move drivers right if you're doing your pit in on the back straightaway, that people can still carry full speed. The biggest thing is once you get into 17 here is slow it way down on the inside and hug the inside. Very few people tend to go really fast through the inside like this, so hold it nice and tight. That way guys know you're coming in addition to hand in the air or whatever. And then get your way into pit lane. And that's a couple laps at Sebring.